Good Wednesday morning to you all. Hopefully you guys are doing great. We got a bunch of news updates here. We got a crazy dust storm in Arizona knocking out power. It's so strong, knocking out power lines. We got public health emergency declared in Mississippi, and the reason may just break your heart. We got transportation funding about to be withheld from California due to the CDL crisis. They're giving out commercial driver's licenses to just about anybody, and they really need to stop doing that. We got punishment tariffs threatened. We got Iran sanctions about to go to a whole nother level. It's not the United States this time, it's going to be Europe. And more garden reports from the Watchmen community. This is another Watchmen update. We're not getting good news out there from the gardens, let's just say it that way. Let's get into it. Welcome to the Poplar Report. I'm Steve Poplar. I'm an accountant by trade, and these are your updates. If you have something to share with the community, make sure you use the word update somewhere in your comment. The comment can be on this video or on any video. That gets it to the right place. Thanks so much for being a part of the Watchmen community. We do want to thank our sponsor, Genesis Gold Group, as well. We got some great news from them. They've been partners with this channel for a very long time. But one of the things that's befuddled a lot of you guys, and me as well, is why are they still in California? Well, we have news now that they are moving all of their offices out of California. They're going to Nevada, a lot friendlier place there than California. Some of you guys even said that you didn't really want to talk to Jonathan and Genesis Gold because they are in California. So if you're kind of waiting for them to move out of California, I just talked to Jonathan today, and they've been in progress moving their offices. So they are very much like-minded with us, but you know how it is. Family is family, right? All right, so let's get into here. We got Trump threatening California, Washington State, and New Mexico, threatening to withhold funding over them not enforcing the truckers' driver's licenses having an English language rule. That is a federal law. You must be able to speak English in order to get a commercial driver's license. U.S. Transportation Secretary Sean P. Duffy today announced California, Washington, and New Mexico will lose federal funding unless they adopt and enforce the English language proficiency, I might fail that myself actually, requirements for commercial motor vehicle drivers. These three states have 30 days to comply before the department will withhold up to 100% of the funding from the Motor Carrier Safety Assistance Program. They are not in compliance with federal regulations, so therefore this funding should be withheld. Mississippi has declared a public health emergency, and this is over little babies not making it. Mississippi's 2024 data has shown that overall infant mortality rate has increased to 9.7 not making it in 1,000 live births, the highest in over a decade. The release says that 3,527 tragedies have occurred before the age of 1 since 2014. Tragic numbers. We do have good news out there that a number of Planned Parenthood clinics will be closing in the coming months. Over 25 announced. So that's at least some good news on the babies front. We got a towering wall of dust rolling through. We already talked about New Mexico losing their transportation funding, but a towering wall of dust rolling through Metro Phoenix, leaving thousands without power. Powerful storm kicked up the dust that rolled into the Metro Phoenix area on Monday, darkening the sky, blinding drivers, and knocking out power and grounding flights at one of the nation's busiest airports there in Phoenix. Big news out there. Not a snowstorm, not a hurricane or a typhoon or whatever, but rather a dust storm. It harkens back to the Great Depression, doesn't it? The Dust Bowl, remember that? It's hard to not make that connection. President Trump has threatened tariffs on nations that impose digital taxes on the U.S. technology. This is a lot of countries don't have the Google or Microsoft or Facebook in their country, and so what they're doing is they're kind of like they're writing laws in order to then come after these tech companies, U.S. tech companies, in order to then almost tax them, essentially. It is not fair competition. They write those laws in order to target American firms particularly, and it is not fair trade. Digital taxes and digital services legislation and digital markets regulations are all designed to harm or discriminate against American technology. That's a quote there. Iran out there is facing a snapback of sanctions over its nuclear program. Now, the United States is already sanctioning Iran, but France, Britain, and Germany have been ensuring trade as long as they hold up their end of the bargain that the Obama administration negotiated back then. But even those countries are just about out of patience. It looks like they're going to be having these snapback sanctions automatically reimposed on all United Nations. So all the UN is going to have to go back into sanctions on Iran over its nuclear program because they are not complying. Now, they've offered a delay of the snapback. They did this back in July in exchange for 3 conditions for Iran: resuming negotiations with the United States over its nuclear program. They haven't done that. Allowing UN nuclear inspectors access to its nuclear sites, and accounting for over 400 kilograms of highly enriched uranium. They haven't done any of those things, and they seem to not have any intention of doing those things. So the United Nations is going to be forced, if they keep their word, to put those sanctions back on Iran, forcing Iran back to the negotiation table. SDB says data centers in Indiana, Mishawaka, and South Bend, Indiana, fighting over who supplies the water. So these 2 municipalities are wanting to supply water and sewage to the Microsoft data center that's going in there. Sucks, really. It's really it's something most regular people don't want, but it will be the regular people that will pay for it. And that's true. I mean, it puts a strain on the local water treatment plants because you're treating water not just so people can drink it and cook with it or whatever. You're now filtering and treating water so that a data center can just use it for cooling, which is not exactly what it's designed for. You think that these places would get their own water and treat it. Anyway, Angela says, I live in South Central Missouri, and Aldi's had one big section of produce completely empty. We got Captain Starwalker saying, Griffin, Georgia, Walmart, no cheese here. I haven't heard too much outages on cheese unless it's cottage cheese. We've been seeing a lot of cottage cheese outages out there, but not regular cheese so far. If anyone else is seeing regular cheese disappearing, please let us know. Make sure you use the word update, of course. Zoik says, in southern Wisconsin, there are no bugs flying around the lights at night and no bugs on my windshield. Tracy says, here in North Georgia mountaintops, we're not seeing the usual amount of insects, including bees. I filled my bird feeder 2 weeks ago and had no attention to it, so I added more different seeds, but still no activity, just no birds. Where are they? Highly unusual. Hummingbirds are okay, though. We've heard a lot of people say that hummingbirds seem to be okay, but regular birds, not so much. After 20 years of vegetable gardening, this was a terrible year, even though we had a nice amount of rain. Can't quite figure that out. The squirrels here were here in the spring, but they've been gone all summer long. Do they migrate somewhere? Everyone's saying the squirrels have disappeared. I have to say I'm not crying over the no-see-ums being gone for the first time ever, but this is getting very concerning. Wildlife changes across North America are scary, honestly. We don't know what's going on, and it's not the kind of changes that should be happening out there. Murphy says in the Berkshires in western Massachusetts, update, the garden is slow growing for all plants. So gardening up there in problems. A lot of you guys are saying that all across the U.S. People saying that if they have it under shelter, if there's a roof, they seem to not be having a problem. But if the plants are just out there in the ground or out in the open, they seem to be having problems. Early tomatoes are still not ripening. Usually they ripen by late July. Birds are a lower population, but still eating my tomatoes that are exposed to netting, but less birds. Actually, I rescued a finch-like bird from the netting. I cannot see that well, so thank goodness for round tip shears. Planning a garden for next year, but it's frustrating. We did get small garlic. All of our onions died. Carrots were abundant, tomatoes and peppers. All squash and cucumbers came on strong, but then they died, except for the yellow gooseneck and butternut. We will take them, bush and not vining, so maybe that was an issue, but we'll see. Canis says, had frozen and pre-cut green beans for dinner last night. I had to pick out a bunch of snipped stems that made their way into the bag. I've never seen quality control this bad for frozen vegetables from the store. But quality is just declining across the board. Fresh stuff, declining in quality. Canned is more water, and even what's in the cans is definitely declining in quality. And frozen vegetables and fruit are declining in quality as well. Peggy says, I don't know if anyone else is doing this, but I've already started buying my Thanksgiving dinner foods. Also, I have started buying my Christmas dinner food products because you just never know what it's going to be like in November and December. I thought I would do it early. Now, that's a great idea because if there's stuff that you want in the future that's going to keep, why not get it now, right? I mean, yeah, there's sales and stuff like that happen around Thanksgiving for Thanksgiving products, and that's a good way to go. But you don't know what's going to look like, and if you get your sales relatively early in the season, going in, you can find some great deals. You can still find cranberry sauce and other things on discount because it's out of season. You can sometimes get a decent deal on turkey if you want to throw one in the freezer, and just other supplies that you'll need for Thanksgiving, Christmas, all of those holidays coming up. Morto says, Buffalo, New York, not one blue jay, starling, or cardinal seen or heard this year. Sparrow population seemed good in the spring, but the young seem to die or go somewhere. So sparrows also disappearing too. It's really concerning to hear what you guys are reporting about the birds, about the squirrels, about the insects. What is happening out there? Do you guys have, I know you guys have some theories. What are your theories? Let me know about what's going on. Are you seeing reports out there from media, from whether it's conservative media, which is a little more reliable, or environmentalists talking about this at all? Because I'm not hearing any environmentalists going, wow, this is really bad. But it's just crazy. Bella says, an idea from Central Kentucky. If you're having trouble buying cat food for specialty diets for your cats, try to check Chewy. They're online, you order online and then they deliver your pet food to you, who are also awesome to deal with. And if you auto ship, it's even cheaper, so good luck. Anita says, if your chickens aren't laying eggs, it's the feed. Now, of course, in winter time, the chickens stop laying or slow down significantly, but otherwise, yeah, check your feed if the chickens stop laying. I saw an article about it a couple years ago, and when they changed the feed to the chickens, they started laying eggs again. I've heard that quite a few times. especially when we've had them muck around with the feed at the factory. People changing to a different feed has restarted their chickens. Our chickens stopped laying. We only have 6. We changed the feed and they are now laying more eggs. If you can find a feed supply store, it's better. They are more aware of what's going on than these big box stores. So yeah. And friends, I will be getting a video out this afternoon for those of you interested in me personally and about my fiance and me and just a little bit of our story. But we'll also be talking about like why maybe some of you should be looking internationally for a second home or a place that you could go to if things turn squirrely inside the United States. Because the best way to survive a disaster or a crisis or emergency is to just not be there, right? While I know a lot of you are like, you were born in the United States and you're gonna live in the United States until your last breath, and that's cool. That's your choice. If you want to look overseas at different places, a lot of you guys, a lot of the viewers here have actually found their way over to the Philippines for a good reason. A lot of really good English speaking. But I'm going to put that in the video this afternoon. Show you some pictures of our engagement and stuff like that. So if you want to check that out, I'll put that up around 2:33-ish for Eastern Standard Time, like I usually do for my afternoon video. All right, friends, thanks so much for watching. Thanks so much for your support and your encouragement, and congratulations. I appreciate all of that and you guys being part of the Watchmen community. If you want to get some more information from Genesis Gold Group or you want to talk to somebody there now in Nevada, you can click on the link right there on the screen and just fill out your information and they'll get in contact with you. If you want to check out another video from this channel, there's one right up here. I'll see you over there, or I'll see you guys later. Steve Poplar of the Poplar Report out.